Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Hey, Alex. Hello, Andy. Chris is here. Goldie. Rahul is here. Hello, everyone. Work thing, says Heather. Yeah. Right. Welcome. So, yeah, today's session is going to be a fun chat around all things sort of credit card. We'll go bank by bank and look at uh, what the latest experiences have been, some data points that we've picked up online or through other friends and sources from banks, and we'll see what's happening out there and the easy things that we can do to sort of navigate ourselves around these approvals and challenges around credit cards, especially here in Canada. We can talk a little bit about the US side of things as well, but the discussion will be primarily focused on Canadian credit cards and Canadian banks. Let's get started with Aeroplan first, and we'll come to American Express right after that because obviously you guys have probably read about the clawbacks from Aeroplan that we've hit up recently, and this is not the first time we are seeing Aeroplan clawing back based on their terms and conditions that are clearly outlined. So in a lot of ways, sort of nothing to talk about here. It's a simple enforcement of their terms and conditions. So what Aeroplan is doing is basically they've connected with some account holders and told them that hey, they've received repeat bonuses on the same type of cards. So for those that may not be abreast with what we are talking about, let me just quickly run you through the essence of the terms and conditions. So Aeroplan, anytime you sign up for a card that gives you Aeroplan points, be it Amex, TD, CIBC, it has very clear terms and conditions that prevent you from repeat bonuses, particularly when you are applying for a card from the same tier. Now, Aeroplan co-brand cards have been put into these specific tiers. So the premium tier is obviously the Reserve card and the VIP, the Visa Infinite Privilege cards with the TD and CIBC. Aeroplan cards, that is. So that's one tier. And the primary tier, which is the main tier, is obviously the Aeroplan Amex card, the Visa Infinite cards from TD and CIBC. And then there's the basic tier, which is mostly around TD and CIBC offering the platinum version of the co-brand cards. And of course, on the business side of things, Business Reserve, again, is a thing of its own because it's a business card. And of course, TD and CIBC also offer business cards. So that's a separate tier altogether. Now, I'll tell you this, I don't have enough data points around business cards or repeat business cards to say that they are clawing back consistently for business cards. But on the personal card side, of course, this is not the first time Aeroplan has come around and said, hey, you've received multiple bonuses of the same kind of card. So maybe you had a TD card before, TD Visa Infinite card before, and now you're signing up for a CIBC Visa Infinite card. You received the two bonuses. So Aeroplan is just catching up to that and saying, hey, no bueno. And then you have to, and they're clawing back those points directly from your Aeroplan account because obviously all the Aeroplan points that you receive through these cards, welcome bonuses or bonuses for spending certain amounts and such, all go into your linked Aeroplan account. So yeah, in a lot of ways, they're not doing anything. Well, not doing it for the first time. The first big one that we heard of was maybe mid to late last year when there was a big clawback on in conjunction with TD cards and such. They had done one previously before that. Who remembers the Black Friday sales that we had and a whole bunch that clawbacks happened with Aeroplan after the fact? So yeah, Aeroplan has been known to do this periodically. I think once or twice a year, whatever that cycle is for them, maybe every 6 months, maybe every 5 to 6 months, they run through that cycle and try and catch whoever must have received multiple bonuses for the same kind of cards that are linked to their Aeroplan accounts, and that's how they're able to do their clawbacks. So in the last few days, we've received or we are seeing a few more data points around these clawbacks. I see your comments here. Let me just quickly come to them. Alex says, I'm just amazed people are trying to game Aeroplan credit cards. Lucky for the ones that only get their points clawed back since Aeroplan is just doing a clawback instead of banning them and confiscating all their points. Plus one, Alex, 100% agree. I'm just surprised in 2025 knowing what has happened in 2024, because Aeroplan has done this in the previous at least two times before this, that people still continue to play these silly games. And even if they were not playing the silly games, I guess to not have to to not understand the terms and conditions before you apply or be surprised by the clawback is something that I cannot be on board with, particularly for people that are not paying attention. I mean, sorry, particularly for people that know this and are choosing to complain about it nonetheless. And he says, I had 10,000 clawback from CIBC Aeroplan Visa Infinite. Yeah, and I think that's what we are seeing, Andy. A lot of it is the 10,000 to begin with. Um, Alex says, granted, I'm sure that there are people that are getting hit that shouldn't, and the algorithm is picking them up. Yeah, I mean, I'm yet well, I wouldn't know, but I think if I was completely in the clear, I don't think we've heard from anybody that has been completely in the clear. We've at least seen some data points through Reddit or through Red Flag Deals or whatnot, the other forums where people are surprised by it and they don't really understand how these sort of what are the common cards in each tier and which card they should get, they shouldn't get. Like I said, I just gave you a full rundown of which cards follow which tier. So ideally, you don't want to be switching between those cards, or if you've received welcome bonuses in the past year or two for one of those cards, you wouldn't get the same thing. And if you did, it's just being clawed back. So yeah. Andy says, I had just done a product switch and gotten it automatically. Right. Okay, right. So Andy did not go out of his way to get a brand new card, which was the same thing. He had done a product switch probably from, say, for example, from a Visa Infinite Privilege card to a Visa Infinite card, which suddenly meant he had two cards of the same kind. And when you received the 10,000 bonus in it, sort of automatically, you're like, 10,000 came through. And then likewise, I'm assuming, Andy, you're saying, they took the 10,000 back. It wasn't supposed to be there in the first place. So it's more cleaning up of accounts. Yeah, Goldie is saying not everyone is gaming, some are not aware. 100%. Goldie, there's going to be a group that are not trying to game, but don't really understand how the terms and conditions work, or don't really understand how that these things are clear cut and out there. And to that point, I think that's the group that would be surprised the most, perhaps feel a little egregious towards the fact that points are being clawed back directly from their accounts. But in this case, it's a clear-cut case of terms and conditions, so not a big deal as far as I'm concerned. It's just more cleanup. And I don't know who mentioned this. Maybe Alex mentioned this before. In a lot of ways, it is a happier outcome when an aeroplan is choosing to just simply claw back the points, as opposed to trying to ban you for repeated abuse or whatever the case might be. And of course, it's much more difficult to prove your intentions of trying to get these cards, multiple cards at the same time. So which makes it the easier path, or easier resolution from aeroplan is just claw back the points. Your accounts continue as is, rather than trying to go after people for banning accounts, because that's sort of reserved for more egregious things that they can prove. Which we had seen with the family sharing being abused and whatnot previously. So in those cases, clearly accounts were banned. But I haven't heard much about any sort of shutdowns or things like that from Aeroplan since the family sharing came back on board, which bodes well, which means that that round of shutdowns that they did about 2 years ago because of the family sharing abuse has put the point across that, hey, this is not meant for abuse. And any other questions, queries around this? Uh, Eddie is asking how exactly was family sharing being I mean, it must have been a whole bunch of ways, Eddie, but one of the simplest ways of abusing family sharing is selling your points, right? It's easy to do it. So say I have 1 million points in my account and I'm not going to use it and I really want to sell it in the black market. I can add you, Andy, or Alex, or everybody that's here in the call as a family member to my family account. Uh, and give you access. You pay me a certain amount and give you access to my points. You redeem it out of my account directly, and off you go. And then once you're done with your thing, you remove yourself from the family account, or I cut you off, and then a new family member joins in. This was very common, and from what I understood through my chat with the executives at Aeroplan, is this was happening rampantly and this was the first sort of round of family accounts that were created, right? And they clearly mentioned something about the region specific as well. They were seeing a lot more of this abuse around sort of Middle East and Asia, and they had to really clamp down and shut it down because a lot of the accounts that were being attached and reattached and removed were happening around Asia and also the Middle East. Those were two regions that I repeatedly heard from several sources across Aeroplan, and that's the one I know of. I'm sure there's other nefarious ways of doing it. Leon says, I think business seat brokers, yeah, Leon, exactly. Business seat brokers were adding clients into their family temporarily, booking seats for their clients, and then moving the clients from their family. Exactly, Leon. Chris says, are the DPs all 10,000 to 20,000 increments or full clawbacks? I seem to recall last year it wasn't full. I could be mistaken. Yeah, you're right, Chris. I think last year was around the same, around that 10,000 initial bonus. I'll have to check my rundown of initial bonus or things are. I think it was the initial welcome bonus that was being taken back. But the spend bonuses, if you had that in your card, you were allowed to keep those. You know how most of these cards have an initial welcome bonus that you get upon approval or upon first purchase, and then you have that larger chunk which is spent so much in the next 3 months or whatever, and you get a second set of points. It was that first set of approval or first purchase that was being clawed back, and I think this round is much the same. So I'm hearing more 10,000, 20,000 clawbacks as opposed to the full set being taken away completely. Yeah, and he confirms that his account was the 10,000 points taken away. And in his case, it was because of the product switch that the 10,000 had come through, which was clawed back. Yeah. And he confirms spend bonus still kept. Yeah, which makes sense, right? Like, I mean, if the card has that spend bonus allocated, you are receiving that bonus because you made that spend and not so much. So as long as you've done that, and by the time they get to you, that welcome bonus upon approval is the only thing that they can claw back, legally speaking. I'm sure if they chose to sort of go full on towards at your account, they could somehow justify the full clawback, but legally that would get a lot messier, which is why we are seeing the 10K, the 20K kind of things being the initial piece being clawed back. Let's talk a little bit about. We just spoke about a bunch of Aeroplan co-brand cards. There was this other Reddit thread that came through last couple of days, and there were rumors around the Amex Platinum card that there was going to be a fee increase in Canada. Um, so of course I read through it. None of it made any sense to me given the information I was receiving through my sources. So I shared this little screenshot. These folks are already on Reddit, so I wasn't doing anything against the community, so to speak. So I shared a screenshot and asked. I said, "Hey, is there any truth to this? Is there something in the pipeline?" And all. One, they found the entire thread very amusing. In a way that the person, whoever posted it, I don't know the person. I don't know if they are in fact from Amex or not from Amex. But my sources from Amex were rather amused with that entire thread and were able to confirm that there is no price hike coming imminently, the way that that thread makes it sound. I think a lot of the rumors around, not rumors, we know that Amex Platinum is going to get a reset in the US. When it comes to Canada, if it comes to Canada, all of that is going to be a while away. And the simple rationale given to me was they had just tinkered with the Amex Platinum cards not too long ago, so there is no appetite to make any changes in terms of fee or make any radical changes. I mean, that thread then goes on to people's wish lists about what they would like to see on that Amex Platinum card. Some even saying that, oh, does this mean the Cobalt card is going to get nerfed? So I asked them the Cobalt question as well. And I said, hey, any changes coming to Cobalt? And the answer was also a no. Um, look, Amex folks, and I'm just basing this around like little bits of information I've collected through them over the months and years. They do see the Cobalt card and the benefits associated as super generous, but also a great feather on their cap because that one card has allowed them to bring in so many new consumers into the Amex portfolio because how generous that card is. So they fully understand that yes, it is so generous that it has taken people's imagination. But when a card is that generous, but also that profitable for an enterprise, what the least they can do is leave that card alone because it keeps bringing in newer clientele into the portfolio that then get brought into that ecosystem of Amex. Uh, but they just don't make say something like an Amex offer or other offers available on that card consistently because that card is already getting so much benefits from the earned rates and such. So they rather use all of these fancier partnerships and Amex offers and things that we would want to see more on our Cobalt cards. They rather put that effort towards a gold card or platinum card or the other cards in their portfolio. Um, because I've seen folks complain about, oh, my Cobalt never gets any Amex offers or whatnot, or whatever comes through is barely enough. But I think, and this is my take, I think Amex rationale around that is, hey, look, we made the card so generous that the only thing we would want is for you to consistently use it. And it's generous enough that people are organically using it. So Amex doesn't feel the need to put through more offers, more incentives for you to use that card because you're likely using that card anyways for groceries, gas, streaming services, food delivery, whatever the case might be. But when somebody has a gold card or a platinum card, when you say, a platinum card against a Cobalt card, you're like, hey, why is my platinum card not 5x? Because it's supposed to be a marquee product in your portfolio. And as much as I see that rationale, and I sort of empathize with all of the people that want more earnings or want no foreign exchange fee on the platinum card and such. I'd be very surprised that. So right now there's no changes coming. That's what Amex tells me, or sources in Amex tell me. Even if those changes come through, say next year or the year after, or whenever they do come through, if they come through, uh, the price hike, well, is just going to be the thing. If the US platinum reset, a lot will be we'll get to see a lot what happens with the US reset and how much the prices go up and what kind of offers we see. Once that US reset has come through and the has been exercised in the market for a couple of years, I can then see Amex Platinum card here in Canada trying to make some changes to it. But would the foreign exchange fee sort of no foreign exchange fee as a benefit or as a perk show up on that card? I'd be hard pressed to be very honest if it does because we haven't seen that on any. It'll be truly remarkable if they bring that through. If I had to hedge my bets, I don't think that's up on the cards. But again, what do I know? I'm not the best person to be betting on things to begin with. But that's just my opinion. So, a couple of things there. Sources in Amex tell me no, there's no changes, especially to the fee or anything like that coming to Amex Platinum. And the Cobalt card is not going to be tinkered with. They are just going to leave that card alone for now. And we'll see as and when changes come through. We might see that maybe next year, maybe the year after. All depends on how that US reset goes through. So, yeah, we wait and watch. Sorry, going back to your questions here. Greg is here as well. Greg says, do you still get the sign up? Oh, Greg is talking about different card, but let's take the question anyway. Sorry, couple of people waiting here to join in. Uh, do you still get the sign up bonus if you go from TD Aeroplan to TD Aeroplan Infinite Privilege? Greg, I don't see why not, because you're basically moving to a different card tier. Unless you have had a CIBC VIP card, I don't see why you shouldn't get the sign up bonus for that, for the move from TD Aeroplan to TD Visa Infinite Privilege card, the VIP card. And if this is so I can give you my example. I had the CIBC Aeroplan card. I still have it for the longest time, and I received a pre-approval to go from the Visa Infinite card to Visa Infinite Privilege card. But when I received the pre-approval, it explicitly told me what kind of bonuses I would get. And I think the last time I did one of these move from VI to VIP. I think I got 80,000 points, which was broken up into a welcome bonus and the first time I purchased something or whatnot. So it was 80,000, which was about the same, I feel, that the market bonus was. Once I finished that, I used that card for a full year. Uh, yeah, for a full year. And when the second set of fee posted, I just couldn't justify it. So I contacted them and I moved myself back to my Visa Infinite card, which was the original card to begin with. And they were happy to move that. In my case, the rationale being, hey, I really tried out the card for the first year. I just didn't think I had used it enough to justify another round of VIP benefits. So yeah, moved it back, and there was no clawback, there was no nothing. But I also didn't get anything new when I moved back down from the VIP to VI card, which I already had before that. Um, and he's confirming, and he says, yes, if you didn't have the initial privilege card before, yeah, correct, exactly what I uh, was saying. So Andy's confirming that. Carol says, I find the Amex spend offers have declined significantly in the last year, to which Leon says, yes and no. I miss the spend small bonus, but I do appreciate the Expedia and the hotel.com bonus. Okay, confused between Carol's question and Leon's response to the Expedia and hotel.com bonus. The United KL EVA cards or EVA offers are enticing. Oh yeah, no, EVA offer was on the Canadian side. So yeah, you're definitely talking about the Canadian cards. Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Leon. Yes, that EVA thing. Yeah, because I registered for that EVA offer. In fact, funny enough, I just gave an entire spiel about how Cobalt doesn't get offers. That EVA offer was on my Cobalt card of all the cards. So yeah, rather odd that my Cobalt card had that offer. And that was perhaps the first travel offer on my Cobalt card since I've had that card for a few years, uh, which is why it struck me as odd. Carol says, I would like the Platinum 200 dining credit to be expanded to more restaurants, including ones that aren't fine dining establishments. Yeah, 100%, Carol. I don't know if they'll move away from, I mean, they have kind of expanded that to non-fine dining establishments. But at the same time, these restaurants, think about the kind of restaurants and that'll attract a platinum card or a platinum card holder. I don't think they'll make it open in a way that you can take it to your sort of local what's it called, fast food restaurant chain and use it there. But I can confirm that earlier when it started off, it was super high-end fine dining establishments only. But now, more recently, even here in Ottawa, I'm seeing them sort of have a much larger array of what fine dining establishment can be. My last one, I mean, I did end up going to a super fine dining. I used my credit at Becta. Becta here in Ottawa is a fine dining establishment, very renowned, super popular place. We love the food there. But yes, confirming that they are expanding to and diversifying their portfolio of restaurants that they are partnering with under that program. And I think over time, we'll see more and more places, or as Heather had mused before, that you don't want the Amex offers to be at a restaurant near you, and then near you ends up being in the GTA while you're sitting out west, say in Victoria, and looking at all of these offers to use your platinum dining credit. So yeah, more cities are showing up now, and more there's a bit of a range on that restaurant list. But I don't think it's going to drop below a certain level again because they want to keep that card towards a very specific clientele that wants to use that card in fine dining establishment. So I don't think them dropping off to lower tier restaurants, to be very honest. But the diversity has increased a little bit beyond the super pricey, super fine dining establishments. Alex says, I feel like the shop small is the way for Amex to experiment till they find the perfect mix of how low they can go, but still get consumers to engage. I miss the pre-COVID shop small or even during COVID. Yeah, pre-COVID, during COVID, those were all good times, Alex, but good times don't last. And I think we are well past, or Amex as a company is well past those COVID times when they had to convince people to use their cards. Right now, they're getting enough people trying to spend, so they'd rather engage with people that are actively spending on their cards. As I mean, and they don't care where you're spending it, but particularly in the case of Amex. Dining credits, Amex Platinum dining credits, I fully agree that uh, that 200 should be allowed at a variety of restaurants as opposed to super expensive high dining establishments. But like I said, there's diversity coming to that group. There's more and more cities and more restaurants being listed every quarter. At least that's what I've seen around here in Ottawa, which started off being Becta and maybe one or two I think Fairmont used to be on it as well at some point. Uh, or Atelier, Becta and Atelier, two fine dining establishments in Ottawa were both on it for the longest time, but now we are seeing a few more that are not super high-end fine dining places. Um, Heather says my platinum spending would indicate otherwise. Plenty of McDonald's on there. Yeah, and that's Amex is not saying that you shouldn't use your card at a McDonald's or you are not allowed to use your card at a McDonald's. Amex is basically saying that the $200 dining credit that you get, and if you want to understand the business side of things, they're obviously what they're doing is they're presenting that dining credit as an incentive to a lot of their restaurant partners, and the kind of restaurant partners they want on there should be reflective of the clientele that they really want to hold that platinum card, which is an aspirational card to have for majority of the people out there. Not maybe not this community, but for majority of Canadians out there, the platinum card is definitely still an aspirational card in their wallet, um, and that's what they're looking to target. Yeah, and Heather says, and we don't all live in Toronto and Montreal. Fair enough. Carol says, I was just looking at the Ottawa restaurants, hoping to use it for relaxed family dining and didn't find anything in that category. I don't like all of that fancy food. Oh, Carol, you'd be surprised if ping me a message. I can tell you which ones are. They don't go by the dollar sign things. Yes, I mean, restaurants are generally expensive. These are still, like I said, the Ottawa restaurants are still elevated dining spaces, but they're not your typical, $4 sign or more kind of places. They're more, so I would say $3 sign and above. You could still go out and have, and most of these places now, including Becta, to be honest, is a relaxed dining atmosphere. You don't have to be dressed up a certain way or anything. The last time I used this was not too long ago at an establishment called Arlo, Arlo. It's a very hip and nice spot. I mean, I went in my shorts and t-shirt. Um, I think I may actually no, different time. I was once there with Sash and Rachel and all of them as well, but I think that was last year. A couple of months ago, or a few weeks ago when I was there, was with other friends. Yeah, and then I didn't use my credits because my credits were already used in Becta. But yeah, shorts and t-shirt kind of establishment, but still elevated food. So nice, really nice food, but it is going to be a little expensive. So I keep coming back to the idea that I don't think the platinum dining credits are particularly set for low-end establishments or diners or fast food or things like that. They are going to continue to hand select places that are in Canada's top, which is what it is right. Looks like right now, Amex is targeting restaurants and such that have been listed on Canada's top 100. So that's what we are seeing right now. So if you go and look at top 100 restaurants in Canada or Canada's 100 best restaurants, I think that's what it's called, Canada's 100 best restaurants. If they're listed there, chances are they will be listed on that Amex dining restaurant partner portal as well. Andy says Ottawa doesn't have great options, unfortunately, for the 200 dining room. Really, Andy? Huh. Uh, on the contrary, doesn't I mean, when you say doesn't have great options, sure, that can be subjective, but I've never struggled to use those credits here in Ottawa. Ottawa now has about five or six or maybe more spots. The ones I've tried, I've used my used my platinum credit for, has been Becta, Arlo, Atelier. There's a couple more that I've used it as, and I can't remember the name of the places. Olden Navy or what is something in Navy rather. So yeah, I've used it over the years, and I used to. Yeah, Andy says I used to like Farouz, and it's gone. Yeah, Farouz is gone because They relocated. I've been to Farouz not through because of the platinum credit thing. They've relocated, Andy. They're still around, so if you like their food, you would still be able to get their food. But actually, there's a spot, that same spot where Farouz used to be. There's so many really good restaurants. Arlo is right across from where Farouz used to be. So take a look, give them a chance. I think you'll be surprised at how good the food scene is. Fairmont would be good. Yeah, says Carol. Yeah, I agree. I'm not sure why Fairmont is not on there. Well, I guess I think I know because of that Canada's 100 best is what they're targeting right now. Goldie says mostly Canadian, not international. Yeah, Goldie, fully agree. I mean, GTA could be a different story. Maybe somebody check GTA and see what kind of cuisine or what kind of restaurants would be. There's a bunch of sort of Italian and French Canadian uh, places, but when you say no international, like Farouz used to be on it, and Farouz is Middle Eastern, so they are. I don't think they are particularly not going for restaurants that are a certain ethnic type, for lack of better term. I hate that word, ethnic food, but you know what I mean, like international palette. There's several in the GTA I know for a fact. It's just the Canada's 100 best is where they're picking up these restaurants from. Yeah, Carol confirming Toronto has more international choices. Yeah, Raul says the Thai option in Toronto. Oh yeah, I was talking about that little Reddit thing that came through about the platinum fee increase in Canada. Uh, yeah, the other data point was I don't know if folks listening in have heard this, but some people had reported and have consistently reported over the last like post-COVID days that somehow they're not able to generate a referral link from their Amex cards. So I've heard that over a period of time, but more recently, I would say in the last 3 to 4 weeks, I've heard more and more data point around the same people who used to tell me that they cannot refer from their Amex cards and now suddenly seeing their Amex referrals back and they are able to produce those links again. So if you were one of the ones impacted, you may want to go and check your Amex referrals and don't be surprised if they're back on. And I don't know if this is a strategic move, but clearly it has been enabled automatically again, just in time for that towards that lead up of August 18th. That's when the elevated bonuses on all of the Amex MR cards and the co-brand cards of Marriott and Aeroplan cards. They all have big bonuses, big welcome bonuses right now, and they all end August 18th. So I suppose your referral links have been re-enabled for you to share with friends and family just before that August 18th deadline. Um, yeah, so there's that. What has your recent experience been with with applying for new Amex credit cards? Any issues are you seeing? Because there's this entire thing about Amex not readily approving new clients. Not anymore, but not readily approving new clients as they used to before. And there's some truth to that, which is yes, they're declining it because they have tightened up. Again, don't quote me on this, but these are things I've picked up through several conversations with my sources in Amex. And what sounds like is they are really tightening um, their expenses by one, shutting down abusers, clawing back, exiling people that were not good in good accounts or accounts that are not in good standing according to their terms and conditions. But that also includes tightening their lending, tightening who they are lending credit to. And because of that, quite a few people are now running into applications where they apply and get declined right away, which they're surprised by because Amex for the longest time had been so generous for their lending, for their credit lending, for their card approvals. So yeah, I think they're just aligning themselves to the economic situation that is upon us, or the forecasts that the banking is seeing over the next few quarters of their operations. So they're really tightening that up through regulations and such. So yeah, don't be surprised. Andy's saying, "Yeah, referrals are back for me." Good for you, Andy. That's great. Heather, you've shared more restaurant. Goldie says, would it help if you were able to lower your credit limit? Yes, Goldie, it does help, but the issue with giving you a very specific answer of a yes or a no or what helps and what doesn't help, I just want to put it out there that I'm, of course, no expert in this field in the sense that I don't know what Amex really uses or what banks generally really use with every criteria. We have a general understanding. And based on my general conversations or understanding, oftentimes the amount of credit you're carrying, used or unused, that's besides the point. Amount of credit you're carrying against your income that is on the profile is often the first simple barrier. So if you can lower your credit or increase your income over the next few months or weeks or however, that will definitely help. If you have multiple cards with super high credit limits and such that you're not using, and most of us in this community get super high credit limits and we don't use them. Like my Cobalt, as an example, is like 40 plus, 40K plus. I'm not using it. Do I need to have all of that credit limit sitting there? I don't. But if I start hitting up declines on my applications, that's the first thing I'll try and remedy, right? And there is a cool off period as well with Amex, and Amex agents love to tell you that wait 6 months and try again. Uh, there is no written rule here about 6 months, so I don't know where that 6 months comes from. But the fact is that Amex agents are telling people to wait 6 months and try again. Um, I can tell you this, if you try for the same card within the 90 days, you'll get an automatic decline. And that's true for most banks now, simply because 90 days is what they're looking at, is how they read your credit history. And if within the last 90 days you've had unsuccessful events, they will continue to decline you automatically. Their systems will continue to decline you automatically. So beyond 90 would be the way to go if you had to. But because they're saying 6 months, it might be well worth your while to sort of adjust your credit limits or adjust your incomes. Or if your income has changed, make sure you update your profiles and such. Wait for the full 6 months and then retry. But again, for my best efforts, I couldn't find anything written on Amex terms and conditions that says 6 months to begin with. But yes, Goldie, to your question, lowering your credit limits can help because again, when they look at so every bank has their own internal systems that'll look at your profile and the profile and data they've collected through your card applications, through your expenditure, through your engagement with their banks. So they create an internal sort of database about you as a profile, as an account profile. And oftentimes they'll just use that and do it, or they'll do a fresh take of your credit report, add to what they already have about you in their systems, and then make that decision. So when you have too much credit, say you have 100K credit across several cards with Amex, and you're applying for a new credit card, no matter how good your profile may be, but if your income to or if your debt to income ratios are off, based on whatever thresholds Amex has, their systems just won't approve you. At best, it'll go pending, and then you'll have to call them and have a word with them. Or at worst, it'll give you an auto decline because you are clearly not meeting certain thresholds, of which debt to income is one of them. And when we say debt, it doesn't mean that you are carrying balance. It just means the credit that has been given to you, used or unused, overall credit that has been given to you, not just through Amex, through TD, through everybody on your profile, and the income that you have reported across the board. Those things are important, but clearly that's not the only factor that comes in. James says, are the Amex card all considered separate from TD CIBC for purposes of Aeroplan subs? Only certain ones, do we know? Yeah, I mean, is there a written thing about it? No, but I think in practice, James, we've just sort of understood that Amex cards and TD IBC cards are being treated separately. For Amex as its own sort of processor, while TD and CIBC are both visas. And Aeroplan, when they are mostly doing their clawbacks and such, they are doing it with through their reports of TD and CIBC. Amex does its own, and we know this through the Amex files and such. Amex is doing its own audits and such, and actively looking at their accounts and shutting it down. But yeah, for all the data points I've seen, I there's nothing written down. So obviously, this is more conjuncture. And in practice, that yes, Amex cards and TD CIBC cards are being treated separately, even for that similar tier cards, for example. So yeah, there's that. Um, right. We've spoken a little bit about Aeroplan and Amex, so let's move on to say TD, Scotiabank, any data points or any challenges that you've noticed on card approvals? The common one that I end up getting when people are using my links or otherwise is, hey, I tried to apply. It says I cannot continue online and I have to visit a branch. And I think that's true of TD, CIBC, Scotiabank, similar sort of processes. And a lot of that visit the branch ends up being that people have really old profiles or have some kind of profile that has your information, old information. So say for example, Anshul Singh had a profile with TD 7 years ago, had it as a student, and then I even forgot that I had it, or I signed up for something which was a TD card in the TD system and I forgot about it. Now, suddenly 6, 7, 8, 10 years ago, or 10 years later, when I'm trying to apply, I'm like, hey, I don't even have a profile with you. Why wouldn't you approve me online? Why do I have to go into a branch? Turns out a lot of these cases are to do with random, stale, old profiles in the system. So, and it's what's it called? It's to prevent any digital theft, or it's to prevent any harm being done under your name, under the guise of your name and such. So the systems are basically saying, hey, yeah, we can seize somebody with the same name or similar name, same date of birth, similar address, or different address, but everything else is the same. So it's the profile matching rate. So profile matching gets percentages, or at least that's how I'd worked quite a lot with profile matching because I was working with a university. We had a similar, not I shouldn't say similar as the banking system. We had a system in place which would do that profile matching. And in our case, we were trying to generate student IDs, right? So anytime somebody would apply or somebody would do whatever, our backend systems will look at, oh, Anshul Singh, we know this person because they were a student back in the 1980s. And turned out that somebody had to manually look at it and override it for the profile generation or for the ID generation to go through. So with that same model here, the profile matching conflicts, which is why people are told to go into the branch and apply. And when you go into the branch and apply, unfortunately, you are unable to make use of, say, a cashback portal that you might be trying to use, or other websites where you get incentivized ways of applying for cards. You may not be able to do that because when you go into the branch, they obviously do it through an internal system. Uh, what's the best way to do? I'll give you an example of our good friend Denby. Uh, so what he had done was he was getting into this conflicts with Scotiabank over and over. He spent a good hour, and he shared this with me just very recently. He spent a good hour at the branch, and without wanting to go and apply for a new product with them, he went in, he figured out that there were multiple profiles that were all conflicting, had conflicting information. Took them a while to figure all of it out, consolidate all of that into one profile, or delete the older ones or whatever, archive the older ones, and then only have that one active profile in the system. Um, Came back, gave it a few days, and then tried applying again. That same card, that same thing. Sure enough, it went through like a charm, no issues at all. So a lot of these go visit the branch issues are around existing stale profiles. So if you have that, make sure you go into the branch. You can submit a brand new application in the branch itself, and they would be more than happy to go through it with you after they've looked at your profiles and such. And or you can just go figure out how many profiles you have. I had to do one similar one for myself in RBC. Like literally took me an hour. I had 3 or 4 profiles. Uh, 3 I knew of. There was this fourth profile that was just floating around that I'd completely forgotten about. It was an older one. Yeah, had to go cancel, delete some profiles, whatnot. Then that deletion, they basically told me you can wait a full 60 days. I waited a full 90 days after I consolidated all my profiles, this, that, and the other, and then all is well now. So just make sure that you get all of that cleaned up, especially for this community, because we are so sort of robust and so advanced in our applications. And once you've been doing this for a while, these straggling profiles or profiles that have been abandoned and orphaned can just be floating around in those systems somewhere. where you get tripped up when you're trying to go for a new card. Heather says, my profile still thinks I work at video rental store. Yeah, it's an old profile. Yeah, and as long as you have you catch hold of that one old profile and that's what you want to continue with, which is what I decided to do with RBC. Some of the newer ones I merged and I canceled or asked them to delete my profile and used up all my points before I did that, of course. And I just chose the oldest profile to continue with, and I've had no issues since. And this was almost a year ago now. Um, so yeah, if you've had other experiences with TD, Scotiabank, and or CIBC, let me know. RBC, the only thing I can tell you about RBC is it's not as finicky about existing profiles as TD, Scotia, and others are. So it's best to sort of click through whenever you're applying for an RBC card, it's best to click through as an existing client and log into your existing profile before you sort of continue on to your application. The application portal itself will bring you once you click through any of the like my links on the web. Once you click through, it'll ask you. That's the first question. TD does the same. Scotia does the same. So that process flow has become very sort of consistent across the banks, which is good. As a client, you identify what that process flow is. So yeah, you do specifically with RBC. I find a better success rate when you're clicking through as an existing client and apply directly through a logged in profile after that. So just make sure you're not logged into the profile before you start your application, but you do it in the flow of things and it comes through. The only other big change I'm seeing with RBC is product switches are not getting the bonuses as we used to before, and product switch and RBC is clamping down on that product switch bonuses as well. So it's not as easy, and oftentimes the product switch itself, the process itself is super easy. They're still allowing you to do it yourself directly from your account. However, reaping the rewards or of bonus after product switch is no longer as straightforward, if at all you get it, is not as consistent as it used to be before. If folks have different experience, I would love to hear from you in the chat. Last but not least, no, well, not why last. BMO is the next one, sort of that comes to mind, and a lot of data points or frustrations shared by members that had signed up for, say, a BMO Porter airline card through the waitlist. And what the good news is, there's a lot of data point now that the waitlist offers the 10K additional bonuses have started posting on the account. So check your account. If you've met all of your spend requirements and such, I can confirm this to you. I've spoken to both Porter and BMO separately, and both have confirmed that they will be sticking to the terms and conditions and the timelines listed on the terms and conditions. A lot of folks are now reporting that they are seeing the 10K bonus if you had applied through that special waitlist offer. Say VI Porter, for example, VIP Porter card, for example, the first 20K is when you spend $5,000 in the first 110 days. So don't expect 110 days is just over 3 statements, right? 3 months or 3 statements. So don't expect that bonus to hit your account right after the third statement. It might happen after the fourth statement. So hang tight, it will show up. The next set of 20,000 points, if you were going to spend $9,000 on it, was after 180 days. And then the last 30,000 was after a full year. So they are going to make you wait the full number of days before you get your bonuses, just because you met the, say, a $19,000 or $18,000 spend on your card in the first month. They are not giving out all of the bonuses right off the back. The bonuses will trigger only after each timeline, as the offer suggested, has passed. Anybody here that is not seeing their waitlist bonus can easily call. Call the number on the back of the card. So you'll be connected to the BMO support, and BMO support has a whole robust system. And I can confirm this because they have told me that they are running manual lists of people that are calling in and saying, hey, I should have received my waitlist bonus. What happened? You submit the information, they will do some data matching. And if it is the fact that you are supposed to receive it, it will go through. The most common issue they said that they're running into is different emails being used on your Porter account and different emails being used when you signed up for the card. So for those that have not signed up for the card just yet, you may want to first make sure that your Porter account email and the email you use to submit the application is the same. And Susan says, my P2 always has problems with RBC. His card is never connected to his profile and he has to call in every time. Really frustrating for him and me because he hates calling in. Susan, I think, like I said, the best thing with RBC would be for your P2 to go into the branch, not to apply for a card or anything like that. Go into the branch, share the current profile, and ask the bank person to look at any other older profiles that may be floating around, and their systems will tell them that if there's other profiles floating around under your name, and then if they're able to either merge or delete those older profiles and only keep one active profile in the system, that would be the easiest way, especially if you are constantly running into this issue of profile not being created or not being connected to the right card and things like that. Uh, Leon says +1 and not getting bonuses on product switches at RBC. I went from WestJet World Elite to Ion Plus and nothing. Yeah, similar experience. I think I went from WestJet to something RBC Platinum maybe or something like that, and nothing came through, Leon. So you're not alone, and you and I are not alone. Many people are reporting the product switch bonuses are not coming through as readily. And when you contact them, they'll tell you that product switches are not eligible for bonuses, which is why you're not seeing them. Um, Susan, I'm still getting product switch bonuses with RBC. There we go. This is what I meant. It's not as consistent anymore. So some people are seeing it, some are not. It's well worth your time. Connect with the customer support and see what they tell you. In my experience, they pretty much tell you that product switches are not eligible through their terms and conditions. Alex says spend bonuses are also coming in for the VIPorter cards. Got mine 2 days ago. Fantastic, Alex. I'm assuming you're getting that first year of spend bonus for that 5,000 in 3 months. I didn't realize that the 3 months would have come through as well, or whatever the number of days was. I don't think they're calling it 3 months, 110 days. If your card activation has hit up 110 days, then those bonuses are coming through as well. Thank you for that data point, Alex. Good to know. Cedric is here. Cedric says, I still have good success with TD with the product switch. I do not get the bonus on the first purchase anymore, but otherwise I get the rest of the sub. Most of the time, the customer rep calls me out for swapping every few months and that I'm not getting anything, but the bonuses are still coming in. Yeah, good, good. Perfect. Yeah, and what that really tells you is there's a bit of a disconnect in terms of the written text and the training the reps get versus what the systems are really doing. And if you end up getting it, that's great. In case of Cedric, if you end up getting something that is a nice surprise, but the issue becomes when you expect to get that while you're product switching, and that's where the disconnect between customer satisfaction and expectations happen. So just trying to lay that out there that uh, the regular expectation should be that you're not going to get anything. If something comes through, great, good on you, and you move on happily. And if it doesn't come through, just understand that by terms and conditions, you are likely not supposed to get that. But it's worthwhile connecting with customer support, like I said, but be fully prepared in them telling you that you shouldn't be getting a repeat bonus or a bonus on product switches with certain products and banks. What else? Anybody has anybody seen their Neo Cathay Asia Miles bonuses come through? I know it's very new. Neo had that. It's been what, a month and a bit now, maybe a couple of months since the new offers, the elevated Neo Cathay Asia Miles offers came through, and a whole bunch of people signed up, which was very popular, as I was told by Neo. So has anybody seen their Neo bonuses come through yet? But very similar to the others, Neo is basically, at least on paper and to us, are confirming that folks will start seeing their bonuses as the timelines go beyond what has been put through, like so 3 months, so you have to wait the full 3 months to get it. I just wondered if that was something they were just telling us off the books and the systems were doing something slightly differently. But let me know if you see your Neo bonus come through already. That would be a good data point for us to keep. Um, Outside of that, Rogers is the other one, Rogers cards. And the only sort of data point I have is Rogers seems to be doing a lot more pre-approvals these days. So and why not? Because they have such a huge subscriber base through the internet and telecom services. They're basically targeting a whole bunch of these people. I would be surprised if they're not targeting every single one of them and offering them some kind of pre-approval for their cards. Which is why I don't have active data points in terms of how their bonuses and how the perks are rolling through for their cards. But for if you, I don't see why that would be an issue in terms of getting card approvals, especially if you have a pre-approval in place. So yeah, let me know if you are seeing some oddities with the Rogers card approvals and other perks and benefits in practice. Alex says, haven't hit the spend bonus yet, but got the initial 35K for Neo. Yeah, that's nice. The initial 35 was upon approval, right, Alex? Or was it upon first spend? I think it was upon approval, which you have received, which is fantastic. Yeah, upon approval, Alex confirms. Nice. So the upon approval stuff is showing up already. Good stuff. Good stuff. Anything else that we haven't spoken to? Oh, Chris is saying, Chris, regarding Neo, got the initial hit spend bonus yesterday and can report back as to timing. Oh, perfect, Chris. That'd be amazing. If you've already hit the bonus, like I said, they've confirmed to us that it'll be based on the terms and conditions, which basically tells me that you have to wait the full 3 months. But that said, I wonder, unlike BMO, if they are really being generous enough in getting you all of your bonus as you hit the spend, as opposed to make you wait the full 3 statement cycles and beyond. So yeah, keep me posted or keep us posted rather. Yeah, exactly. Heather says, I have to change my card priorities to match my actual points use. And that's precisely where it's at. Everybody needs to figure out their one or two cards and match it to their actual points use priorities or travel priorities. Because it's as great as it is to tell people that, hey, yeah, I have 10 cards in my wallet and I pay everything on time and I don't use the things. Doesn't matter if you have 10, 20, 30 cards, as long as you have one or two of those heavy hitters and you have aligned those cards with your travel patterns or with your usage patterns, you will reap the rewards and benefits like nobody's business. So make sure you are aligning your spending habits and travel habits against a couple of those cards to really reap the rewards. Sarah says, or just use everything. Yeah, and if you're one of those super high spenders who can spend everything on every card, which I don't think is any of us here, to be very honest. If you're just spending a little bit on every card, you're spreading yourself too thin. But if you are able to, then all power to you for sure. Um, Said is asking, I don't know if you talked about CIBC, but I recently applied for an Aventura Visa Infinite. They said they couldn't extend me credit since I had too much with them already, but that they took 5K from an existing card to get me approved for that new card. Yeah, Cedric, we did speak about this entire idea of credit limit against income. So if you have too much credit with a provider and you're hitting up those declines and things like that, there's two ways of doing it. One is you lower your credit limit, wait for 90 days or more, and then retry and see if that comes through. And the other one is, of course, exactly what you said. And this is the piece we had not spoken about. So I'm glad you mentioned it. Is the other piece that you can try and negotiate with the provider is, hey, I have too much credit on this card X. Can I take 10,000 from that and just get approved for this new card because I have very specific usage for this new card or specific need for this new card approval. And most times they're able to do it. MBNA, TD are the two that have consistently done that for me in the past. I don't think I've approached anybody else to do it, but it's good to know that CIBC is open to doing that as well, which is moving existing credit from one card and approving you for a new product for sure. Does it have to be the cardholder flying the companion certificate? I wish I had a data point for you, Heather, but I think the answer is yes, at least for now, the way it is. The companion certificate has to be with the cardholder. I can see why a companion certificate terms and conditions would allow two two completely separate entities to travel. But like I said, I haven't done it myself, or I don't know people that may have tried to do it. But over the next few weeks and months, as people start to earn these certificates and try and redeem them and use them, I will definitely keep you posted. James said, companion certificate requires a lot of spend, though, doesn't it? Yeah, the 9K, I think, more than the MSR. Yeah, there's two. The initial offers had some actually 20. Somebody double check. I'm now phasing in and out of what that companion voucher would be. I think the tier two had 9,000 spent. If you spend $9,000 in the first 180 days, there was a companion voucher that you would get with that. And then there was a second one, which was overall annual spend on the card. And I don't know what that was, if it was 30,000, $50,000, or whatever the case might be on that World Elite card, that if you meet that spend, then you get another companion. Yeah, there we go. Cedric is confirming one at 9,000 and one at 50,000. Perfect. That's what I thought it was. 9,000 and 50,000. Yeah. So 50,000 is a lot. I fully agree on that card, unless you make that card into your primary for everything you do. The 9,000 should be fairly easy for this community across the year. So as long as you hit, well, not across the year. Let me roll that back. 9,000 in the first 180 days is your target. So as soon as you meet the 9,000 in the 180 days with that card, you get the additional 20,000 points plus the companion voucher. James is saying, I spend 9K, but I don't have one. Don't fret it, James, because you likely haven't hit the 180 days. BMO VIP card or VIPorter card are the ones that have specifically said that they are going to wait until those days have lapsed before you will start seeing these things roll up into your account. So if you haven't hit three, or at least three, if not four statements since your card sign up, you're not too far out, and those things will sort of get caught in the lists that they run for these benefits to be allocated to your account. Well, thank you. Thank you, everybody. Let's close this one out. Take care. Have a wonderful weekend, everyone.